funny thing? The boxing people don't know more. The only thing they know is how much the guy runs and trains. But when they come in 2 minutes in the ring, anything can happen. I don't care what, anything can happen.
Urgency, or he's overrated. And I'm not saying he's that. I'm just saying that it didn't matter enough to go and do what he had to do.
Was actually countering Canelo Alvarez quite a bit. So as Canelo would throw, he would just sit there, wait, block, and then boom, an uppercut or a right hand. Another mistake that Canelo was making too is he was throwing like one shot and then he was coming back squared.
Mike Tyson didn't hold back after Canelo Alvarez's loss to Terence Crawford, calling him overrated. Tyson said Canelo looked ordinary once he faced Crawford, who controlled the fight with skill and accuracy. According to Tyson, the fight proved Canelo was never as dominant as people thought. While Crawford's performance showed he belongs among the all-time greats, Tyson said the defeat exposed Canelo's flaws and proved the hype around him was
Prime, you gonna catch him? I'm just telling you, but when those guys started beating Chavez was already an old man, though. I gotta get from then, though. You gotta get him there. You know, he had clothes on. It was, man, he got him beaten in like 90-0 before he got beat. Oh, you gotta look at those scenarios too, man.
Famous trainer Teddy Atlas has always been outspoken, and he hasn't spared Canelo Alvarez. Atlas says Canelo's reputation was blown up by promoters, fans, and media who crowned him boxing's king without studying his record. He points out that even though Canelo has big wins, his opponents were often carefully picked, making his record look better than it is. Atlas believes Canelo's image as an unbeatable fighter is more marketing than truth. In his view, Alvarez has gained more from timing and promotion than from true dominance in the ring.
Quite as up in arms. We actually sometimes said he fought a smart fight. But when he didn't fight the kind of fight to make it an entertaining fight against our guy, against the popular Canelo, again, the king, so to speak, then we completely attacked the guy. So I think that that's got to be looked at a little bit, to be fair.
Before the fight, Mike Tyson predicted that Terence Crawford would outbox Canelo Alvarez. He fully trusted Crawford's skills and said Bud could defeat anyone. Tyson made it clear he never thought Canelo was unbeatable, highlighting Crawford's smart adjustments and control as his
fight. Great fight, right?
50-50.
I want to say Crawford. Why am I saying 50-50?
You don't think it's 50-50?
60-40, but you gonna tell me which one?
You think Crawford can stop him?
Crawford can stop anybody. I'm not saying he can, he's going to, but he can't.
Other boxing experts have also explained why Canelo is often seen as overrated. Some mention the old drug use accusations that briefly hurt his reputation. More importantly, critics point to how he managed his career after losing to Floyd Mayweather. After that loss, Canelo became more selective, choosing fighters past their prime or who fit his style. This helped him collect titles and stay popular, but left doubts about whether he really faced the best at their peak. Skeptics say Canelo built his career carefully to protect his image and avoid true challenges.
All right, this guy right here is overrated as fuck, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, early on in his career, when he was the young up-and-coming contender, undefeated at the time, we all remember that infamous match with Floyd Mayweather where he just got dog-walked. Floyd Mayweather completely outboxed him, completely outclassed him. That fight ended up being a split decision, which is crazy because if you've seen the fight with your own two eyes, I don't think Canelo landed one clean punch on Mayweather the entire fight, and it wasn't even close. Also, early on in his career, he was accused and caught cheating performance enhancers. And you know what they say, once a dirty fighter, always a dirty fighter. Even though that's not factually the case because he was able to move on with his career, bounce back from that loss, bounce back from the cheating accusations, and make like a great boxing legacy for himself. In the court of public opinion, normally with most fighters that are, caught cheating at any point in this career, it always sticks with them. But with Canelo, it seems like everybody forgets. Now, obviously, to this day, he's still looked at as one of the faces, if not the face of boxing. But I think the way people accuse Floyd especially in the back half of his career of picking and choosing his fights, protecting his own, protecting his legacy. Canelo definitely has followed the Floyd Mayweather model. Not only in his game, he became a more defensive fighter after fighting Mayweather, and especially as of late, he's not taking as much punishment, but it's also because he's not fighting very dangerous fighters, and when he does, he gets exposed. One of his also top more formidable opponents was Triple G, that trilogy. The first fight was a draw. The second two fights, Canelo won by unanimous decision and an ununanimous decision for the third. But I don't think the results, reflected the fights.
When Canelo finally fought Terence Crawford, the flaws his critics mentioned became clear. Crawford, a skilled southpaw known for adjusting mid-fight, controlled the match from start to finish. He stopped Canelo's attacks, keeping him from finding rhythm or range. Alvarez, who usually relies on pressure and counters, looked limited against Crawford's smooth movement. Analysts said Canelo threw single punches and used his jab rarely, which let Crawford set the pace. The skill gap was obvious. Crawford shut down Canelo's strategy and made him look unsure. Many fans saw this as proof that Canelo's untouchable image was overblown.
I think there was a lot that we could learn from both of them. I think there's something that Terence Crawford did very well. He did not allow Canelo to get inside, man. Like as soon as Canelo would get into that certain range, he would jab him. He would jab him, and then occasionally he would go low. Canelo Alvarez could not pop his. He couldn't get inside because pretty much Bud, he's a southpaw. And I feel like Terence Crawford, I feel like Canelo Alvarez had problems with southpaws, but not just that, dude. It was the range of what Terence Crawford had, dude. And not just that, man. Terence Crawford was actually countering Canelo Alvarez quite a bit. So as Canelo would throw, he would just sit there, wait, block, and then boom, an uppercut or a right hand. Another mistake that Canelo was making too is he was throwing like one shot, and then he was coming back squared, and that's when Terence Crawford would actually catch him. We didn't see any like lateral moves where he would throw and maybe push off to the side, as we used to see Canelo Alvarez as what he would do in these fights. Allegiant Stadium, there was a lot of people there. Terence Crawford had the ability to fight backwards and stay composed, good defense, hands was always up, countering everything that Canelo was throwing at him. He was just a little more active fight. Looking at the fight, bro, like it was competitive. Canelo did hit him to the body, but it was pretty much all Terence Crawford, man. I don't know how many rounds I actually gave Canelo, but I want to see a rematch. Because Canelo did mention, I didn't feel good. Like my body was just, it wasn't reacting. My mind wanted to, but there was something physically with my body that it just felt different. So, but overall, boxing tends to put these big events, these fights don't show out like the UFC.
Canelo's loss to Crawford shocked the boxing world and raised doubts about his future. His interviews after the fight showed uncertainty, and some even wondered if he might retire. Crawford's dominant performance made it seem like Canelo's time at the top could be over. The win was historic, not only for Crawford's skill, but also as a symbolic changing of the guard. Canelo had been boxing's biggest name, but Crawford's display made him the new star. The defeat hurt Canelo's invincible image, while
Crawford was going to create history. I told you guys this before he fought Sean Porter. I said that Terence Bud Crawford can beat first ballot Hall of Famer and superstar and legend Canelo Alvarez. I've been saying this for years, that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And tonight, he did just that. He did just that. Not only did he beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, but he arguably retired Canelo Alvarez, who after the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated that he's done everything that he needed to do in the sport of boxing. When asked, do he want a rematch with Terence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez said, it's no need. He gave no indications of a rematch. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he's a Hall of Famer. He's a winner. Just being there made him a winner, right? And he stated that he's done everything he needed to do in the sport of boxing. That's what he said. Canelo Alvarez got schooled once again. I told you guys, styles make fights. This particular style of boxers and counterpunchers and movers has historically given Canelo Alvarez problems. And as I told you guys, right? Terence Crawford can fight any which way he chooses to fight. He's just that much more versatile.
Crawford's victory wasn't just another win. It became a major moment in modern boxing. By beating Canelo, he took all of the Mexican star's super middleweight titles, becoming undisputed in another division. This placed Crawford among a rare group of champions who ruled multiple weight classes with authority. Financially, the fight also stood out. Canelo earned about $150 million, while Crawford made much less. Commentators like Simon Jordan pointed out
It's Crawford making history when he came up against Canelo Alvarez and he won it on points in Las Vegas. And that means he takes all of his super middleweight belts, becoming the first fighter in the modern era to become undisputed champion in 3 weight classes. The man to my left was in Spain. Mr. Jordan got out his bed at 5 in the morning and watched it, and he no doubt saw Crawford speaking post-fight.
The great things come to those who wait. You know, the cream always rise to the top. All the time that they blocked me out, they said I wasn't fighting nobody. I can't beat this dude. I can't beat that dude. Every time that I got a chance, I wiped the floor with him. So just imagine where I would have been at today if I had got them opportunities a long time ago. But then again, it wasn't my time. My time is now, and I'm happy that everything played out the way it did. And you're looking at the undisputed champion of the world right now.
That is for sure. Is he the modern day GOAT now, Simon?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you can make the argument for Usyk too. I'm surprised he speaks like that because it's not normally the way he speaks, and the fact that he's got 3 undisputed means that he must have been given certain opportunities. So I'm surprised he felt the need to say that, but perhaps there was reasons behind it. I mean, Alvarez thought they were going to get him cold because he hadn't fought for 13, 14 months, had some surgery and stuff like that. And the other side of the argument is they've got an Alvarez that's been fighting lesser than opposition. That is not what he once was before. He was there to be beaten by someone of the standard of Terence Crawford, which they're very few and far between.
Trainer Abel Sanchez said he was shocked by Crawford's performance. He thought Canelo's power and experience would play a bigger role, but Crawford controlled him from round 1. Sanchez said Crawford never let Canelo find rhythm, using timing and footwork to shut him down. The result surprised him. Not just that Crawford won, but how easily he did it. Sanchez even said Crawford could retire at the top, having nothing left to prove. Beating Canelo, he explained, was the kind of win that defines a whole career.
Had a great game plan. Bomac put something together that few people expected, including myself. The scores were just the opposite of what I thought they were going to be, but Terence looked great.
What do you think was the turning point of the fight, or did you just think from the inception there was no way? Was there a point where you saw, hey man, this just doesn't look good?
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the beginning, and then Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
Abel, starting in the 8th round, we saw noticeable frustration and irritation from Canelo Alvarez. And at one point, 11th and 12th, he looked like he almost walked away, like he almost decided this is too much.
You know, you remember the the Hagler. I'm sorry,
Duran.
The Duran.
I was
Ray
thinking
Leonard
that.
fight.
I was thinking that. I didn't want to disrespect Champ by asking him that post-fight, but those were the images that came to my mind. I was going to ask him if he understood more of Duran's plight that night.
Yeah, you can kind of. Duran had a reason supposedly because he had stomach problems or something like that. But
right, he said he ate 2 steaks and drank a pot of coffee in New Orleans.
Sometimes frustration causes you to say things that maybe were not true. You know, Terence just fought a great fight, man. You can't, virtuoso fight, the kind of fight that we're not going to see for a while, and there's nobody out there that can give Terence that kind of test again. And when you have a great fighter that has put up another great fighter, and it happens like this, is you just have to bow your head and, you know, that's the king right now.
The loss brought back old criticism that Canelo's career was overrated. Analysts said this fight, expected to be a battle of legends, instead exposed the truth behind the hype. Crawford didn't just beat Canelo, he dominated him, showing a level of skill Alvarez couldn't match. Most experts agreed Canelo had been over-promoted his whole career, helped by easy matchmaking and timing, while Crawford took real risks, moved up in weight, and still crushed.
Alvarez has been dramatically overrated throughout his entire career. The man has never been and never will be an A-plus level elite fighter. Canelo Alvarez is a B-level fighter. Now, this is something even myself had wrong. I thought at one point Canelo Alvarez was an A-level fighter. He has never been an A-level fighter. He's been dramatically overrated. And that's a product of great matchmaking for Canelo Alvarez. The man is a B-plus fighter at best. His best wins are B-level fighters, and the man has never beat an A-level plus elite fighter throughout his entire career. I mean, Canelo Alvarez, he's unable to make adjustments. A-level fighters are able to make adjustments. Canelo Alvarez is one-dimensional. A-level fighters are not one-dimensional. Canelo Alvarez has poor footwork. A-level fighters has great footwork. Canelo Alvarez is extremely predictable. A-level fighters are not predictable. A-level fighters has a variety of tools in their tool belt. Canelo Alvarez is a B-plus level fighter, but that's not an insult to Canelo Alvarez. This man beats a lot of fighters. He's done a lot of great things in his career, and I know a lot of people may have an issue with this, but let me break it down. An A-level fighter would not get dominated 3 times in their career. Canelo Alvarez has been dominated 3 times in his career. He was dominated by Floyd Mayweather. He was dominated by Dimitri Bivol, and he was dominated by Terence Bud Crawford. I'm sorry, A-level plus elite fighters do not get dominated. An example of A-level plus elite fighters is Floyd Mayweather, is Dimitri Bivol.
One of the biggest myths about Canelo was his iron chin. Fans believed he could take any punch without trouble, making him seem nearly unbreakable. But against Crawford, that belief started to fade. Though Crawford didn't knock him out, his clean shots wore Canelo down over time. Instead of walking through punches like usual, Canelo looked uncomfortable, cautious, and sometimes shaken. Analysts said his weak defense left him open too often, raising doubts about the legend of his unbeatable chin.
Canelo chin is overrated, and I'll show you why. Overrated does not mean bad. But shots like this in real time, we look at it like, damn, Canelo took a hell of a shot. But in reality, Canelo has really good defense. Canelo knows how to take a shot, and he knows when to roll, he knows when to deflect, he knows when to parry. Now, I still do believe Canelo has probably the greatest chin of all time. That is still a fact in my opinion. And just because I believe his chin is slightly overrated does not make it bad. As, like I said, the best of all time. I think we need to take some points away from his chin and accredit a lot of this to his defense. Canelo's defense is amazing. How many times do you see Canelo get hit just flush on the jaw? Now, you could tag his forehead all night. You could hit the side of his head, maybe even his temple at times. But Canelo's jaw is damn near untouchable. I know a lot of you Mexican fans are going to get mad at me because I say this chin's overrated. I love Canelo too. He's probably my favorite fighter of all time. But the chin it's a bit of a myth. Canelo just really knows how to take a damn good punch, and he's a terrific defensive fighter, especially for a super middleweight. But you guys, let me know, who do you think has the best chin of all time, and how often do you use the rolling technique when in the gym or in your amateur bouts?